Today I'm going to do a quick studio tour, so this will be a good place for you to start. If you're thinking of making your own paper, this will give you some ideas on what kind of equipment you'll need. Enjoy! So this is the outside of the studio. I'll just show you. I have a little garden. There is a hose hookup here, so I'm able to bring it into the studio, and it really comes in handy for filling the vats and the beater when I'm using it. So I want to give you a shot of the full studio here. So when you walk in, here it is. It's a pretty small space. So I have some workspace here. I have my printers, a laser jet and a Canon photo printer. So I do a lot of experiments with printing on the handmade paper. There's a small sink here, which is very important. So you're going to either need a sink or access to a sink. I have a fridge that always comes in handy, and it's great for sizing if you're using internal sizing, like this stuff here. It says to keep it refrigerated, and then you can have some wine too. Here is some CBD stock that's been soaking overnight in water, so that'll be used for the new video. And have a stack of empty buckets here. And then these two buckets are pulp that I made yesterday. It's a bit of a darker color, and it's got a bunch of hurt in there and some recycled hemp paper. Over here I have a little bookshelf and just random supplies, tools, mold and decal storage up there. I have some other shelves here. There's some screening for making molds and decals and pots for cooking. There's some fiber as well. I have this great pegboard for storing tools. So these cone-shaped strainers are great because they can fit on a 5-gallon bucket, and it makes it easier to strain the pulp. So if you can't use up all your pulp before it goes bad, you can strain it and then either refrigerate it or dry it to use it later. So I like to think of my studio as kind of two separate parts. You can see the beater right here. This is the beater. And then the tubs here are all part of the wet area, and then I have a tarp on the floor, that blue tarp, to prevent water damage. So this is the Hollander Beater. It's a Markland or Critter. It can process 1 pound at a time. This is the lid, and then this is the beater roll. So this moves, it rotates, and then this knob will move it up and down depending on how much refining you're doing. So over here I have a tub with a waterproof wooden board. This is the base of a stack of paper. I have it on a wooden board elevated, so that prevents the stacks from sitting in a pile of water, because water is going to drain as you're making the sheets. This is a mold and decal, 12 by 18, and then this mold has the ability to do 2 8.5 by 11 sheets in one pull. And then this is the vat for actually making the sheets. I use the larger one when I'm using that bigger mold and decal. And then I have this here where I put these over the top, and then I'll rest the mold and decal with the fresh sheet on there to allow the water to drain, and then I'll make another sheet and then just have a good workflow. Over here is a mop and pulp and fiber storage. I also have a hydraulic jack, and then I actually use this frame setup as a press because I don't have a proper press right now. So I'll show you that, how it works one of these days. Here's more pulp and fiber storage. These are the pellons that I use to put in between stacks of paper as I'm making it. And then I also have some marbling supplies and some pigments. I've started to experiment with adding pigments to the paper. Here's a drying rack with more pellons and felts that I use for making the sheets of paper and also in the dry box. And then this is a plastic tube that is really great to use if you don't have a hose and you're working with a regular sink. You can actually hook that up to the faucet and then let it go down into a 5-gallon bucket. That way you can fill up buckets even if your sink isn't big enough to fit it in there. And then this area here I consider the dry area. That's my dryer box. I have stacks of paper in there drying right now. And then this is a work table that I built on wheels. This is a cutter that I picked up used recently. It's also, I put wheels on there, so this can all be moved around. It's been really helpful for working in a small space to be able to move things as I need them or need to put them away. And some sheets of random hemp paper. So here I have shipping supplies, paper, educational display materials, like this is some hemp insulation, packaging supplies, so I use the back boards and the sleeves to protect it, and other fiber storage and document storage. And then this is a heat press that I picked up used. It really helps to flatten the paper. It doesn't always dry completely flat because hemp has a really high shrinkage rate. So this is really helpful. Yeah, I'm really glad that I got it. There's other ways that you can flatten the paper as well. And I'll do other videos showing different drying methods. And yeah, that's it for now. I hope this was helpful. Thanks again for all your support. I hope you found this helpful, and let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything that you want to see in the videos. Have a great week.